guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the beauty mistakes I used to make like a long time ago. Like back before I really got into makeup. These are just some of the things that are big no-nos, and just things that I used to do that I thought were cool or made me look cool or made me look pretty, and I look back at pictures and I cringe. I literally cringe at the thought of me actually doing that and thinking it was cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started because I do have a few to share with you guys. The first beauty mistake that is a huge no-no, and I mean huge no-no for absolutely everybody. I don't care who you are or whatever, this is just a huge no-no, and everybody's done it. I used to. I don't do it anymore, but everybody's done it, and that is sleeping with your makeup on. That is such a big no. Just don't do it. If you're doing it now, just stop. Just please stop. Do it for yourself. Do it for your skin. And it feels so gross to sleep with your makeup on. It feels so gross. After I, started taking my makeup off routinely at night, and my skin just looked so much better. It felt so much better. And one time I remember getting home and I was just exhausted, and all I wanted to do was just go to sleep. I didn't want to mess with my face. I didn't want to have to wash it, do anything. And I tried going to sleep in my makeup, and I actually got up because I felt so disgusting, and I decided to just wash my face because it was so gross. And you don't have to wash your face. You can just, preferably you should wash your face, but if you don't want to go that extra mile, then just use a facial wipe, like a Neutrogena makeup remover wipe or something that is gonna get that makeup and that gunk out of your face, because you've been walking around all day outside, I'm sure, and you've probably sweat a little bit, and all that stuff is just sitting like on your face, sinking into your pores, and it'll clog everything up along with dirt and just your oils from your face. Just don't sleep with your makeup on, please. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Mistake number 2 that I used to make a lot was not blending my eyeshadow correctly. I used to use, and I'm not hating on anybody, but I used to use the little sponge tip applicators that would come in eyeshadow palettes, and those are just, they're not good. If anything, if you are into makeup and you want to invest in one thing other than skincare, I suggest you invest in a good set of eyeshadow brushes. And even then, they don't even have to be like super high end or anything. Some of my favorite brushes are like from Real Techniques and e.l.f. They're super inexpensive. Altair Beauty has some amazing brushes, and I actually have a discount code that I'm gonna leave down below for just my viewers. But yeah, just invest in a good blending brush, because I don't have like a little sponge tip applicator, but I used to grab eyeshadow and just kind of put it around my crease, and I wouldn't blend it. Like I would just stick it on there and not blend it, and it would just look like a hot mess. It just looked hideous. I wish that I had pictures to share with you guys, but then again I don't, because it's bad, really bad. So my tip with that is always have a good transition shade, and I do plan on having, I know I said this before, I do plan on having a eyeshadow for beginners video pretty soon. It's gonna be a pretty lengthy video, and it's going to take time for me to actually sit down and film it, and I haven't had the time to do so. So as soon as things kind of slow down a little bit, I will definitely get that video out for you guys. Another mistake that I used to do quite often was pumping air into my mascara. And you probably have done it before too, or still do it, but when your mascara is about to run out, this one is already completely out, and you're trying to get more product out, so you do this. No, you're not doing any good by doing that. You're actually just pumping air into your mascara tube, so it eventually dries out quicker. And you're also pushing more bacteria, germs, nastiness in there by doing so, because you don't know what's sitting up here. You take this and you put it in your eyeballs, which are probably pretty germy, and you stick it back in here, and then you're just pumping that back in and out. Just don't do it. It'll dry your mascara out faster, and especially if you have a high-end mascara, you don't want to do that because it's going to dry out so much faster. You know, if it's running, if your mascara is drying out already, drop a little, you know, couple of drops of eye drops in there and kind of just shake it around a little in between the palms of your hand, and that'll help loosen up the mascara that kind of tends to stick around on this side. You could also stick it in a cup of hot water and it'll also loosen up the mascara in there, but don't pump air in it. Just, it doesn't do anything, trust me, besides, you know, dry it out and get a lot of more germs in there. Another makeup mistake that I used to make was not wearing blush or bronzer. And it was so weird because I never knew that there was such a thing as bronzer. So like back in my high school days, like I didn't know what bronzer was. I wasn't that into makeup. Like I was into makeup, but not like severely into makeup as I am now. So I never wore bronzer, so I was always walking around really pale faced, and I hardly ever wore blush. It wasn't until I bought a few things from MAC that my love for blush really just kind of blossomed, and I started wearing blush like every single day. I would still skip bronzer, but at least I was wearing something else. But my face would just look so flat and dull because there wasn't anything on my cheeks besides powder. So wearing like, you know, a good bronzer and blush, even if it's just something really subtle, you know, just do it. Just don't skip it because you will look very, very flat-faced, and just, you don't want that. You want to have a little bit of dimension to your face. Something else I used to do all the time, and I laugh at it now, but I'm so, like, it's just so crazy that I even did this, was wearing black eyeliner all around my eyeball. And I mean that, like, I would wear it as eyeliner, like I would try to wing it, but it just not cute. And then I would take it and wear it all down my lower lash line, but I wouldn't even blend it. Like it was just a stark black line. So not cute. So not cute. You know, definitely if you're gonna do that, at least blend it out with some eyeshadow, or, you know, just don't do a stark, I mean, I'm not trying to come off as judgy or anything, but I'm only trying to help you here. I know looking back at my pictures, I was just like, what was I even thinking? But like today, I'm wearing black eyeliner, but it's smudged, it's blended, it's just, it's diffused, and it's not so stark and harsh. And, you know, it looks a little bit better, but do whatever you want to do, okay? I mean, you don't have to listen to me. These are just mistakes that looking back at stuff, I wonder, why didn't YouTube come sooner? Like, why didn't it? And then kind of to go along with that, I didn't even use liquid eyeliner. I used a pencil liner, and I was so lazy sometimes, so lazy in the mornings that I didn't even want to get up to get my sharpener to sharpen my eye pencil, that I would use it when it wasn't sharpened enough, so it would tug at my eyelids. Bad, you guys. I mean, you don't think about these things when you're young, but that is so bad because it's tugging at your eyes, and this part, your under eye area, is so sensitive that you're just causing premature wrinkles pretty much. So, you know, have a little sharpener with you in your makeup bag at all times if you're going to be wearing pencil liner, because you don't want to use and tug at your eye under eye area, or even your eyelid area at all, because it's just so sensitive, and it's really, really thin skin, and all the tugging is just not good for it. You're asking for wrinkles at a young age. Now, one thing that I think everybody struggled with were brows. And I can't say, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that my brows were perfect, but they weren't horrible either. Like, I didn't overpluck them. I didn't not fill them in or anything like that. But they just, I went through a phase several years where my brows were either too thick and too bold for my face, or and then like a phase where they were just kind of a little bit too structured. I can't explain it, and I don't even want to share pictures because it's horrible. Like, looking back, it's like, to my Instagram and stuff, it's like delete, 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 because it's terrible. But brows are a very touchy subject too, and I feel like the way Instagram depicts brows now is you either have to go big or go home with them. And I think just the best way for me and the way that I see it is, if you can fill your brows in and still make it look a little bit natural, then you're good. You know, you don't have to overfill them. You don't have to carve them out and use all kinds of products, like, you know, fill them in, to pencil them in, and then fill them in with the pomade, and then set them this way and do that and this and that. I mean, that's just the way I feel. I feel like Instagram and even some YouTube people have just kind of taken the brow game to a whole nother level. And don't even get me started with the whole scissors to contour and the tape and this and that. That is just crazy talk. I mean, do you really, like, every day, like, out of every single, like, do you really have time to do that every single day? No. Who has time to grab a pair of scissors and do a sharp contour, or a knife, and just sit there and no. It's not realistic, people. It's not realistic. And I'm gonna stop before I get myself into any trouble. Another thing that I used to do was not using blotting sheets to touch up my makeup. So, like, for instance, when I was working at the hospital and I was working nights, you know, I would, you know, get oily and I would touch up. But instead of using a blotting sheet, I would literally just grab my little, because I used the, let me grab it. Okay, so I used the Clinique Stay Matte pressed powder religiously, and I wouldn't blot my face. Okay, I was oily everywhere. I mean, I'm an oily mess. And I would take my little sponge pad, you know, and then touch up on top of all the oil that was sitting on my face. So disgusting. Not only was I getting like oil all over this thing, but I was just piling it up and making it look more cakey. It was just, it's gross just thinking about it now. But, you know, just, if you don't have blotting sheets or you don't want to buy them, it's fine. You don't have to. You can use toilet paper. If, like, you know, take off the little plies apart, like the little sheets, take them apart because you need something pretty thin, and just set it on your face and tap it and absorb all of that excess oil off your face. You can also use the toilet seat covers. I know it sounds kind of gross, but the toilet seat covers that you find like at public restrooms, those are so thin that you can, you know, blot away, and then you can go over and touch up with your powder. Don't just, you know, slap it on top of all your oily mess, because it's gross. Something else that I used to do all the time, and I think it's not really something that I did because, I don't know, I think I did it, and I think we all used to do this because this is the way things were packaged, and this is the way things were kind of promoted, I guess you could say. But I used to wear shimmery eyeshadow all over my eyelids. Like, I'm talking shimmer from my brow bone to my lid, and no matte in between. And it was just a shimmery, like a glitter all over the place. I'm talking shimmery mess all over my cheeks, probably because I was just, you know, slapping it on like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, Don't always use a transition color and have it be matte, at least a satin if that. But yeah, just a shimmery mess all over. I also used to use, like, I wasn't big on using lipsticks, and I only used lip glosses, but the lip glosses that I used were literally like a concealer on my lips because they were way too light and glittery. Like, I was into all that shimmer and glitter. I think everybody went through that stage, but I would just kind of, and it was thick and sticky and goopy and it looked disgusting, but I thought I looked really pretty and I thought I was all that and then some. But it was a mess. It was just too light for my already light, because my lips aren't that pigmented on their own. So I'm talking, I would put something way lighter on my lips and I looked just so washed out with a ton of glitter, no bronzer, no blush, and overdrawn brows. I mean, just imagine that. And black all over all over my eyeballs. It was a mess, you guys. I was a complete mess. And I also never really had like a skincare routine, like a good regimen where I would use, you know, certain products to kind of help, you know, with acne or whatever. I never did any of that. Never. Not until like a couple of years ago did I really start doing, or like really getting into having a skincare routine. And even now I still feel like I'm missing a few things from my skincare routine, but I think that's it. There are a few other things on here, but we've talked enough. This video is already way too long and I didn't mean for it to be this long, but I would love to hear maybe down in the comments, or if you have a video similar like this, or if you would like to post one, sharing what some of your makeup or beauty mistakes have been throughout the years. I know we've all done them, so don't sit here and say that you haven't, because we all have, and I have done so many and I probably still do. So yeah, and I hope this video didn't come out like I was trying to bash anybody, because I am not. This is just the way I used to do things and I don't like doing these things now. So definitely don't take offense to any of this. It's just crazy talk. It's just makeup. Is all for fun and games. So whatever you do, do whatever makes you happy. So thank you guys so much for watching.